For more on the investigation into the tragedy, we turn to Michael McCormick. He's an associate professor and program coordinator for the bachelor's degree in air traffic management at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University. He's also the retired vice president of the FAA Air Traffic Organization. Sir, great having you. And I'd like to know, as we try to make sense of what happened, what's your analysis as of now?
Hello, Diego, and thanks for having me. I want to speak to some of the concerns that were raised a little while ago. And first, in terms of staffing, Washington National Air Traffic Control Tower is in fact fully staffed. And it's quite common practice in control towers and in other air traffic control facilities for positions to be staffed and unstaffed depending upon what the volume of traffic is like at any given moment. So it's not unusual that the helicopter position was combined with the tower position and having one controller working the helicopters and working arrivals and departures. In fact, in this instance, it could have been a good thing because that way one controller has complete situational awareness of what is actually occurring between the helicopters and the arrivals and departures at Washington National.
I see. So could you go a little bit deeper into that? I'd like to understand why one person would have better situational awareness. And of course, there's been a lot of talk around the technology and the computers that these people operate during their job. Could you give us a little bit more into that and try to better explain this?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Similar to any control tower in a major metropolitan airport in the United States, there are often transit aircraft that are flying through the airspace. It could be helicopters, it could be small fixed-wing aircraft, but they're not landing at the airport. The common practice is to have another position that utilizes radar to provide air traffic control services to the transit aircraft. That means you have two controllers working at the same time. And in order for them to work together with arrivals and departures and the helicopter traffic, they need to coordinate back and forth. So they have to be able to share what's going on in order to understand what the other controller is working. In this instance at Washington National, that coordination didn't need to take place because there's one controller doing it all. And they would have better situational awareness as a result of that.
I see. I get it. Could you help us put President Trump's comments on diversity into context, in the context of, traffic controllers and especially the DC area?
One of the things that I was responsible for as a vice president in the Air Traffic Organization was the hiring of air traffic controllers. The standards to go through to become an air traffic controller are significant. It's something that I would call a meritocracy, and that is only the best are selected, and then only the best make it through the training program to become certified air traffic controllers. Mm-hmm. So it is nothing else is taken into account but the ability and the dedication and the certification of the individual becoming an air traffic controller.
Sir, could you give me a sense of how long does it take to train a competent, national, high traffic, important airport traffic controller?
It takes from 1 to 5 years to certify as a professional air traffic controller in the FAA at an airport similar to, we'll say JFK, or the busiest airport in the world, Atlanta. It's going to take 3 years to certify. In our large en route centers, it could take up to 5 years to certify.
I see. Do you have any preliminary lessons from this tragedy?
One of the preliminary lessons that I got out of this is that there has to be clear, direct communication between all aircraft that are flying in proximity to each other so that they have the opportunity to visually acquire that other traffic. In this instance, when you look at the video that have been released, it remains clear that the pilot of Pad 25, the Black Hawk helicopter, did not see the American CRJ because they would be responsible for maneuvering their aircraft to avoid a collision. And although they reported that they had the American CRJ in sight or maintaining visual separation, they did not do that. So there's more than likely confusion by the aircrew on board the Black Hawk helicopter about which aircraft they were actually looking at or looking for.
I see. I see. Michael McCormick, thank you for your time. Great having you.
Thank you. There you go. Have a good day.